Okay, so let's get right into it. Today, we're going to talk about a habit that so many of us have, and we might not even realize how deep it goes. I'm talking about over-apologizing. We're going to explore the real psychological reasons behind saying I'm sorry for, well, pretty much everything. And I mean, come on, let's be real. Who hasn't done this? You accidentally bump into a piece of furniture and you're like, oh, sorry. Or, someone else bumps into you and somehow the first words out of your mouth are still, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It feels kind of silly, right? But it actually points to something much bigger happening just below the surface. You might just brush it off thinking, oh, I'm just being polite. Or maybe I'm just a little awkward. But from a psychological standpoint, it's really not that simple. This isn't just about manners. It's a learned behavior and it has some very specific and, honestly, surprising roots. And here it is, the main idea we're going to unpack. Chronic over-apologizing is almost always a self-protective mechanism. It's a response that your brain developed over time, not because you're constantly messing up, but to shield you from what it thinks is a threat. So let's break down what that actually means. So the first big piece of the puzzle is all about avoiding conflict. For some of us, our past experiences taught us a really powerful lesson that disagreements or arguments or even just having a different opinion, well, it just wasn't safe. Yeah, and I think this chart really reframes the whole thing perfectly. On the surface, when you apologize, it looks like you're admitting fault. It can even look like a lack of confidence. But what's really going on? It's emotional self-protection. You're not actually saying, I was wrong. What you're subconsciously saying is, please don't be mad at me. It becomes the shield that you just automatically deploy to neutralize any potential anger before it can even get going. And this leads us right into this key concept, hyper-vigilance. I mean, think about it. If you grew up in an environment where someone's mood could just flip on a dime, your brain had to adapt. It learned to stay on high alert, to constantly scan the room, emotionally speaking, just to protect itself. You basically became an expert at sensing danger before it happened. And this is exactly how it works. When you're hypervigilant, you pick up on things most people would totally miss. A tiny change in someone's tone of voice, a subtle shift in their posture. And your brain, because it's wired for that self-protection, immediately fast-forwards and expects a problem. So what does it do? It jumps in with an apology. It's this automatic gut instinct to try and fix the emotional vibe in the room before it can turn into a real problem for you. So you can see how this all connects. The habit isn't just about dodging a fight. It's also about feeling like you have to actively manage how everyone else is feeling. Exactly. If your brain learned early on that people around me being happy equals I am safe, then that creates this incredibly powerful and heavy connection. It means their mood is now your responsibility. So when you sense someone's having a bad day, you might apologize, even if you had nothing to do with it, because a part of you feels this intense pressure to fix their emotional state, just so you can feel secure again. It's probably one of the most common phrases we use, right? I'm sorry. But for someone who over-apologizes, these two little words are often hiding a much deeper, way more vulnerable question. And this is the real heart of it. The apology is actually a bid for reassurance. It's a way of checking the connection, of making sure the relationship is stable, especially if you have a deep-seated fear of being abandoned or seen as, replaceable. You're not just saying sorry, you're desperately asking, please just tell me that we're okay. Okay, so where does this automatic, almost knee-jerk reaction even come from? Well, it's often a direct result of past conditioning, where our brains learned a very specific set of rules just to survive emotionally. Let's walk through how this gets wired into our brains. Often it starts when you're young, in a place where maybe your feelings were dismissed or just plain ignored. So your brain, which is always looking for the fastest way to get back to feeling safe, discovers a shortcut. And it's a powerful one. If you just take the blame, the tension just stops. The argument ends. It works. And when something works, you repeat it. And you repeat it until it becomes this unconscious automatic reflex. The tricky part is that your brain is still operating on these old rules, even when you're in a totally new and safe situation. So now that we kind of get the why behind all of this, I want to finish up by looking at this whole behavior in a new light. Because it is so easy to see this as a character flaw, but it's really important to reframe it. And this right here is probably the most important thing to take away from all of this. Your tendency to say sorry all the time is not a sign that you're weak. It is a testament to your empathy, to your incredible, fine-tuned ability to sense what other people are feeling. It's a survival tactic.
Yes, it's absolutely exhausting, but it came from a place of your brain just trying to protect you. So, just understanding this pattern, seeing it not as something wrong with you, but as a learned response that helped you survive, that's a huge, huge first step. And the questions I'll leave you with is, now that you have this understanding, what's your next step?